Sometimes, life takes everything from you: your money, your home, your friends, even your family. And in those moments of silence, when the world forgets your name, you have two choices. Either you break forever, or you build yourself again from the dust. This is the story of Ethan Cole. It was a cold, rainy evening. Ethan sat on the sidewalk, soaked and shivering. Once a promising businessman, now a man with nothing. His phone buzzed one last message from his wife. "I'm leaving, Ethan. I can't do this anymore." He looked around, no one there. Friends had stopped calling. His business partners had walked away. The house was gone. Even his own reflection in a shop window didn't look like him anymore. He whispered to himself, "Maybe this is where my story ends." But life had other plans. The next morning, Ethan packed a small bag, just a few clothes and a notebook, and vanished. No one knew where he went. No phone calls, no social media, no contact. He disappeared from the city and from everyone's memory. He spent nights sleeping in bus stations, days working random jobs just to eat. But every night, he opened that notebook and wrote one line: "One day, I'll rise again." He started reading books on business, mindset, and self-discipline. He learned coding online, marketing, investments, anything that could help him rebuild. And slowly, piece by piece, something inside him started to change. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was transforming. Months turned into years. 2 long years. There were nights he cried. Nights he screamed silently at the sky. Why me? Why did everyone leave? But pain became his teacher. Loneliness became his strength. Failure became his fuel. He worked days in silence. While others slept, he learned. While others doubted him, he prepared. And then something clicked. He started a small online service, helping companies fix their brand identity. At first, no one cared, but Ethan stayed consistent. Day after day, his work spoke louder than his past. One client turned into 10, 10 turned into 100. Within a year, his name started to spread. Ethan Cole, the man who never gave up. 2 years later, he came back to the same city, not as a broken man, but as a brand. He walked through the same streets, this time in a suit, driving his own car. Billboards carried his company's name. People whispered, "That's him, the one who lost everything." News channels wanted interviews. Magazines wrote about his comeback. The man who had vanished had now become a phenomenon. One by one, they came back. Old friends, business partners, even his wife, with their children. They smiled and said, "We always knew you'd make it." Ethan just listened. He smiled, but there was no anger, only peace. He invited them to his new office, a tall glass building overlooking the same city that once rejected him. They looked around, amazed. And then, his wife softly asked, "Can we start again?" Ethan looked out the window for a moment, then turned and said quietly, "When I had nothing, I called everyone, but no one came. Now that I have everything, I only call myself." He walked out of the room, leaving behind not just people, but the version of himself who once needed their approval. Months later, Ethan gave a speech to a hall full of young dreamers. He said, "Everyone wants success, but no one wants to be alone. Yet every success story begins with loneliness. When everyone left me, I found my strength. When the world said I was finished, I began again. Don't fear being alone. Fear being ordinary." The audience stood and clapped, some with tears in their eyes. That night, Ethan walked alone on the same road where he once cried. But this time, no tears. Just silence, peace, and gratitude. He looked up at the stars and whispered, "Thank you for leaving me when I needed to find myself."